So you want a job in roofing sales and you don't know where to start. You might have found out about the opportunity because you saw someone who changed their life, and then you're like, wait a minute, how are you doing this? They got the new truck, they're earning six figures or more, and you wonder how they did that. Or maybe you're interested in it because you found this YouTube channel, you're like, could this roofing thing be for me? Now, no matter where you came from, your walk of life, whether you have sales experience or even know a thing about roofs does not matter. And I'll tell you, I didn't know anything about sales, and I did not know anything about roofs, and look where I am now. And the same opportunity is waiting for you in roofing sales if, my friend, you are a good fit for the industry. So in this video, I'm going to teach you two key things, okay? Key thing number one is to help you figure out if you are in fact a good fit for roofing sales. I'm going to give you a peek behind the curtains of what roofing companies are looking for, in fact, what I teach them to look for. And then number two, I want to empower you to find the right company so you don't have to sit back and hope that one of them will accept you and then jump on the first opportunity that shows up. Because folks that do that often jump ship and go to the next company that really is a better fit for them. So right before we get started, I just want to say a quick welcome or welcome back. My name is Adam Bensman, the Roof Strategist, and everything that I dedicate my life to is helping you smash your income goal in roofing sales. And of course, the first step to do that is getting into the industry, which is what we're going to do. Now, if you're someone who's new in this world and really wanting to ace your interview and do great, then I highly recommend you get a jump start on your knowledge so that way you can share with the companies when you interview that you've been watching this channel and that you know what they're looking for. You've got a jump start on your basic sales knowledge. So to do that, I invite you to join me inside my free training center. There's a link in the description, or you can text the word free to 303 222 7133. And I do have one favor to ask. If you are a fan of the channel and you know someone who might be interested in the business or is considering a job, or maybe even someone you want to recruit, please share this video with them because I think it's going to be really, really helpful. All right, let's start. Toya teach two things. Let's start with the first one. Who's a good fit for roofing sales? What I want to teach you is the behind the scenes, peeling back the curtain of what I teach to company owners and managers when it comes to recruiting. And I teach them to look for 5 profile traits or 5 characteristics of a person to make sure they're a good fit. That is a hustler, thick-skinned, persuasive, persistent, and confident. Let's break those down. Hustler is someone who is willing to put in the work to achieve a really big goal, whether that's in athletics, whether it's business, whether it's learning an instrument. Persuasive, someone who's willing to communicate their point of view, to be someone who is capable of persuading someone to see your viewpoint. And that can be anything from politics to athletics to sales. It doesn't matter what kind of experience they have. I just need to know, are you in fact persuasive? Number 3 is persistent. These are the folks that when they hear the word no, they don't say, oh, well, I tried, I didn't get it. Or maybe, I don't know if you're anything like me, I'm not that mechanical. So if I'm like working on my mountain bike, for example, and I reach a roadblock, there's the people who are like, oh, well, I tried, that didn't work. Or those that, again, that's not being persistent, that are going to say, okay, I'm going to jump on YouTube, I'm going to try to figure out, well, that didn't work, I'm going to try this, I'm going to search for an article. So these are the people that just kind of have this mantra that say, how can I make that happen? Someone who's just not willing to hear no. Or if they are hearing no, they're not going to let that actually stop their forward momentum and progress, okay? The next one, thick-skinned. These are the people who, I was not thick-skinned. Okay, I was very sensitive. Thick-skinned is someone who's not rattled. If you hear an insult, if you knock on someone's door and they call you a sleazeball or a dirtbag or other creative language that's not appropriate for YouTube, that aren't gonna go home and cry in their pillow. And believe me, I've been tempted to do that when I got started because it's awkward at first, but once you get going, conflict, it's the nature of the beast in roofing sales, so we have to learn to embrace it. And I was someone that was very cautious. Cautious isn't even the right word. I was avoidant of conflict. I would avoid it at all costs because I was a peacekeeper. So I had to learn how to handle conflict. And now I look at it as a challenge. I almost have this weird enjoyment of taking conflict and turning this negative situation into a positive one. So that's what I mean by thick-skinned. Okay, and the last one is confident. These are people who, when you shake their hand, it's a firm handshake. They look you in the eye. They're assertive with their dialogue. So those are those 5 character traits. Hustler, thick-skinned, persuasive, persistent, confident. If you don't have all of those, roofing sales, probably not a good fit. However, I was not thick-skinned. I was willing to put in the work to become it. So I just want you to be prepped. If you don't have all 5 that are wildly strong, but you're someone who's willing to put in the work to develop those characteristics, you could very well be a good fit for roofing sales. All right, now let's move on to talking about how to find the right company. But first, I want to just kind of maybe rewire your mind of how you think about finding a job. Now, in the traditional marketplace, when I say marketplace, I mean job marketplace, there's like corporate red tape and processes, and things are very corporate businessy. Roofing in general is not quite like that. And the reality is, most roofing companies are almost always on the lookout for good people to join their sales team. Even if they're not running hiring ads, these are the companies that say, hey, if the right person gets introduced or comes into our business or wants to work with us and they're a good fit, we're going to bring them on board. So I want you, my friend, to feel really empowered that you don't have to settle for the right, like the opportunity that falls in your lap. You get to go find that opportunity. And I'll tell you, pro tip, if you walk into a roofing company office and said, I'm interested in a job in roofing sales, I've been doing my homework, heck, even mention my YouTube video and channel that you've been studying up, and say, I realize that you guys are the company I'd like to work for. I've done my homework. I want to work for you. I had a few people do that in our office, and I ended up giving them a shot and hiring them because it showed all of those character traits in one. And it also is a great compliment to the company. So where do you start? It's a common question, right? Where do I start? Here's where. First, jump on the job boards. Why? Just to familiarize yourself with the opportunities in your area. So jump on whatever job board you might be using online, insert the word roofing sales, and start browsing. Once you grab those company names, then I want you to jump onto Google. Start doing some homework. Look at their online reviews and look at their website. Because remember, when you're showing up at that house, you have to be there to sell in a way that you're confident that the company is going to deliver upon everything that you sell. In fact, I was just out to dinner with Kennedy on our team just last night. And Kennedy came from solar sales, and her struggle in solar was not about solar, and it was not about sales. It was the history that she had of selling something that the company could not deliver upon. And that's what caused her to shift companies. And that is incredibly common. That's why it's so important for you to be choosy and to feel empowered. Okay. All right. Now, the last thing I want to share is a personal note. We've covered the 5 profile traits: hustler, thick-skinned, persuasive, persistent, confident. We've covered how to find the right company, start on the job board, search on Google, pinpoint them, and then show up in their office. I want to get on the emotional side and end on this note. The roofing industry is for sure not for everybody. It is wildly simple. In fact, I can teach almost anybody the fundamentals and basics of selling a roof and what you need to do every day, how to give great service, what to say at the door. All that, again, is here on YouTube and in my training center, and there's details in the description below. I do have a package available for individual sales reps like yourself. Now, this industry, despite it being very simple, is not easy. And the reason I say it's not easy is because it challenges us each and every day. We carry all of our personal baggage to work and our work baggage home. And unlike a traditional job, if I was in a cubicle and I had a bad day, I can show up at the office and I can get my work done. I might be stewing on the bad news that's happening, but it really doesn't impact my work all that much. But in roofing sales, I'll give you just a few examples of things I've dealt with. Finding out a loved family member had cancer, finding out a family member died, going through issues in a relationship. All of these things are very, very intense. Even dealing with suicide. It's so hard to be in this mental place with a very, very real baggage and trauma. And we don't have the privilege of just checking it at home. We bring it to work, and it impacts how we work. And we're challenged at work. And then being a high stress, fast pace, lots of hours, we carry that back home with us. So this industry can be very taxing, and it's very important that you know what you're getting into so you can learn to set clear boundaries. But the beautiful part, to end on this note, the beautiful part of this industry that I love the most is that roofing sales is personal development in disguise. I'm going to say that again. Roofing sales, it's personal development in disguise. I don't know of any other industry. Maybe there's one out there. I just haven't experienced it. The roofing sales to me has been one of the greatest gifts of my life. It put me in an industry that gamified my personal development and growth. So when I learned how to handle conflict better, I started to make more money. When I learned how to manage my time better, I started to make more money. When I learned how to communicate more clearly, I would make more money. When I learned how to sell and close, I'd make more money. When I learned how to overcome objections, I'd make more money. When I learned how to structure my days in a way to be hyper effective and figure, you know what, if I could be in this neighborhood, it's not quite as lucrative as that neighborhood, I'd make more money. So every time that I grew personally and transformed from this like very sensitive person that didn't handle conflict to, as cheesy as it might sound, blossoming into a new human, The gamification was personal development with the reward of earning an incredible income that for you can be six figures, multi six figures in your very first year. So I hope you're excited as I am, because my dream is to hear a message from you that you watched this video, you found the right company, and you, my friend, made your very first six figures, maybe even your first multi six figures in a lightning fast period of time, because that is the most beautiful part of the roofing industry. Now, you're in the right place. Keep watching these videos. Jump into that free training center, and I wish you absolutely wild success and life-changing opportunities, not only for you, but for your significant other and any future generations that you wish to support. So thank you for spending your valuable time with me today. Just because our time here is about to wrap up doesn't mean your or my time should. So if you haven't jumped into our free training center yet, you can click right here or jump into this playlist that I think would be a perfect fit for your journey into roofing sales. Thanks again, and I'm wishing you a wide